Have you ever noticed a strange pattern? The most sorrows are brought to us precisely by what we desperately try to control. A paradox, isn't it? Yes, some things really do require our control. Traffic, pest control, crime. Well, and something from the area of personal hygiene. But there are spheres of life where control works against us. Relationships, creativity, healing, happiness. Here attempts to control everything become the main obstacle on the path to success. Look at your relationships. Those that you try to control the most suffer the most. Control is always fear in a mask of strength. It's like squeezing sand in a fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more spills between your fingers. When we try to control close people, we only aggravate old wounds and resentments. We think that control will give us stability, but it turns out the opposite. It suffocates relationships. Like a gardener who ties a plant too tightly to a support. The plant doesn't grow, but withers. Control kills closeness, trust, romance, spontaneity, development. It's like trying to dance tango with a partner whom you've tied to yourself. With a rope, no beauty, only awkwardness and pain. Unconditional love cannot be controlled. It's like a wild bird. It will come if you create suitable conditions. But try to catch it, and it will fly away forever. To get it, you need to give up control, and therefore, fear. Control in relationships inevitably leads to a conflict of forces, disappointments, and a sad finale. Trying to change a person, we tell him, you are not good enough as you are. Making decisions for him, we deprive him of the right to be an adult. Love turns into manipulation. Respect, into domination. A conflict of forces arises. A war begins, where there are no winners, only wounded. Our generation was long instilled with. Control is power. Control is strength. Control is freedom. Take life into your own hands. Such is the incantation of our society. And this really works when it comes to responsibility for your life. Conscious choice of thoughts. Concentration on the main thing. But many abuse this principle. Imagine a ship captain who decided to manage not only the helm, but also every sail, every knot, every breath of the crew. What will happen? The ship will lose maneuverability. The crew, initiative, and the captain, reason. Too rigid control makes a person inflexible, like a dry branch that breaks from the slightest wind. It makes us uncompromising, short-sighted, provokes defensive behavior, and prevents acting productively. We become like a general who is so afraid of losing a battle that he doesn't dare to start an attack. You know what's amazing? Very often the first step to increasing creative potential, inspiration, and healing becomes precisely the refusal from the desire to control everything. It's like a clenched fist that needs to be unclenched to get something. Of course, this requires a certain courage. After all, we are used to thinking that only control protects us from chaos. People often come to me for consultation who ask for help in their life situations, to figure out relationships with a partner, but at the same time put forward unconditional conditions, not to ask questions about parents, about former partners, about personal life. It's like coming to a doctor and saying, "Cure me, but don't dare look at the sick place." Alas, the attempt to control the process of one's own healing is one of the most frequent obstacles to gaining wholeness and happiness. Healing happens in secret, in depth, where our consciousness cannot foresee and control everything. The desire to control everything often causes mental spasm, killing creativity, innovation, and progress. It's like an artist who is so afraid of making a wrong stroke that he doesn't pick up a brush at all. Or like a writer who rereads and corrects the first sentence 100 times, never moving to the second. With pleasure I note that in recent years leading managers of a new wave are appearing. They try to bring their companies beyond the framework of outdated culture of control and management, which has finally ruined initiative and foresight. These successful people perfectly realize how important it is to systematically let go of old plans, ideas, and principles for the sake of something more effective and rational. They understood Clinging to the outdated is like trying to swim against the current, spending all energy on fighting the inevitable. The attempt to control everything often testifies to the desire to create your life alone. It's like trying to build a house, refusing help from architects, builders, engineers. The result is predictable: crooked walls, a leaking roof, and a foundation that doesn't withstand the load. Such a position smells of maniacal individualism, narrow-mindedness, fear of changes, and even success. Yes, paradoxically, but many fear success more than failure, because success means changes, and changes, loss of control over the familiar, even if unsatisfactory, life. Excessive control prevents receiving partnership and growth. It's like a high fence around a house, protects from dangers, but also separates from opportunities, prevents finding a more accurate idea, new solution, additional help, and abundance, drives a person into narrow frameworks of their own thoughts, not allowing to see the general picture. We become like a person who examines the world through a keyhole, sees only a small piece of reality. How to understand that you are trying to control everything too much? Very simply, if this is so, then something is not working out for you. Life is not going as you would like. It's like a car with a clamped handbrake. The engine works, efforts are applied, but the car stands still or moves with a screech. Where there is too much control, there is no influx of goods, abundance, and joy. Life becomes similar to a dam. Water accumulates, but does not flow. And without flow, water becomes muddy and stagnant. Control is your Achilles heel, which you drag along the ground, limping through constant battles, conflicts, and sufferings. Imagine a dancer who tied himself to a heavy weight. Every movement is given with enormous effort, and the beauty of the dance is irretrievably lost. Many physical and mental sufferings are connected with control: headaches from constant tension, insomnia from the inability to turn off the brain, anxiety from attempts to foresee all possible variants of event development. Our body and psyche warn us that somewhere we need to loosen the grip, as a car signals about engine overheating. In essence, excess control leads to the fact that you are cautious and do not aim high. It's like a shooter who is so afraid of missing that he aims only at the nearest target, ignoring the golden mean in the distance. Control tears you away from the absolute self, slows down personal growth, prevents free creation. You limit yourself in choice. Play on the field where you feel confident and safe. It's like an experienced swimmer who all his life swims only in shallow water, afraid to go deeper, where new horizons await him. You don't risk stepping into unfamiliar, although more promising territory. But life generously rewards those who are ready to let go of control. The prize for refusing excessive control becomes development, adventures, and a new level of prosperity. It's like freeing a bird from a cage. It can fly away, but it can also stay nearby, bringing joy with its singing, which in a cage never sounded so beautiful. Think about what place control occupies in your life. Remember in what situations and relationships you try too hard to control everything. Behind control usually hides fear. Fear of loss, resentment, failures. Identify your fear. Ask yourself, is my fear justified, or is it just an emotion? Understand that control will not rid you of these fears. Moreover, excessive control will only strengthen them. Having felt that you are too diligently controlling the situation, ask yourself, what would help more now than control? Perhaps you need to communicate more with people, trust more, become more open, laugh more, or not be shy to ask for help. Be ready to receive guidance from above. Tell yourself, God's will be done, or something similar. This will help mentally tune in to the best outcome of any relationships, any undertaking, any situation. Trust helps overcome fear. This is the very magical component that brings success in relationships and at work. Trust in relationships raises to new levels of spiritual and bodily closeness. Communication, love. It resolves conflicts, helps forgive, turns enemies into friends. Trust at work gives penetrating vision, inventiveness, motivation, and spirit of unity. It possesses amazing power. What is trust? First, it is intention. It is a point of concentration of energy and faith. Imagine the rays of the sun, focused through a magnifying glass. They acquire the power capable of lighting a fire. So it is with trust. What you trust, in that you invest your strength. If trust is concentrated on one goal, it can possess powerful driving force and creative potential. Second, trust is unification. It brings us beyond the limits of ego, beyond the limits of fear, to completely new expanses of creativity and inspiration. It's like musicians in an orchestra. Each plays his part, but together they create a symphony that is greater than the sum of its parts. At this level, 1 + 1 really equals 3. Trust can become a life philosophy. Many talented, creative people live by the power of trust. They are like gardeners who have sown seeds and trust the earth, sun, and rain to do their work. They believe that everything is possible in God, in love, in honesty, in themselves, in the virtue of other people, in their strength. A person always believes in something. Even a pessimist believes that everything is bad. Fear is a sure sign that you do not trust yourself. It's like a compass that shows not north, but your doubts. For the ego, to trust someone is like balancing over an abyss. For it, this is certain death, because trust helps to get out of the framework of one's own ideas about life and see broader possibilities. It awakens in a person his higher self and opens access to the unlimited potential of your absolute self. With trust, nothing is impossible. Reflect on your life. Mentally go through all your relationships and work projects. Each time ask yourself, what do I believe in? What is my intention here? What am I achieving here? Remember, what you trust, in that you invest your strength. Dare to rise above your ego. Let God Himself inspire you in today's work. Let love itself bless your relationships today. Let your higher essence illuminate your thoughts today. Today, believe with all your heart that only good things will happen to you and to everyone else. If you have questions or wishes on this topic, be sure to write in the comments. I will answer each one, and subscription will give you the opportunity to receive new information and become a participant in this process of knowledge and development.